I never wanted to become a guardian. I had a perfectly normal life, a rented apartment, remote work, solitude I'd grown used to and even started to value. But fate rarely asks, especially when one day the police call and say, "Your sister has passed away, her daughter remains, you're the closest living relative." Anya, my niece, was just a child then, 6 years old, that age when memories are still blurry and emotions are like exposed wires. I knew I couldn't replace her mother, but I could offer her a roof, safety, peace. We moved into a house I had recently inherited from my grandfather, an old 2-story mansion on the edge of a village with peeling paint, creaky floors, and a basement I didn't even like going into. But the house was ours, and for now, it was the only option. At first, Anya was quiet. She sat with her doll in her lap, stared out the window. Sometimes she drew. Sometimes she just stayed silent. I tried to connect with her. Movies, games, ice cream, but it didn't work right away. Then one day, about 2 weeks in, I heard her voice from the room. "He said you'll leave soon." I stopped on the stairs. "Who?" She looked up and smiled. "Uncle Serioja. He lives in the corner." I didn't think much of it. Imaginary friends are common in children, especially those who've gone through trauma. Psychologists even say it's healthy, a way for them to process loss. I just nodded, smiled, and said, "Well, say hi to him for me." But day by day, Anya started talking to him more often. She drew him, a tall silhouette with a dark void for a face. In her pictures, he stood next to her, held her hand, looked through the window, sat in the bedroom corner. I tried not to overreact. Maybe she was just expressing loneliness. But one night, I walked into her room, and I heard her whispering, not to herself, to someone. "I won't tell him, I promise. Just don't be mad." I turned on the light. Anya sat under the blanket, eyes wide, fists clenched. "Are you okay?" "He said you shouldn't come in without knocking." After that, the house became truly unsettling. Light bulbs started flickering. The TV would turn on by itself. Anya stopped sleeping peacefully. She'd scream at night, but wouldn't wake up. In the morning, she remembered nothing. I started using a baby monitor in her room, and one night at 3:17 a.m., I saw her sit up in bed and say, "I can hear you. Don't whisper. I already agreed." But the scariest part, she wasn't looking at the wall or the ceiling. She was looking straight at the camera, right at me, through the lens, as if she knew I was watching. I started digging, literally. I found old boxes in the closet with my grandfather's documents. Inside, newspaper clippings, photos, letters, and in one of them, an old black and white photo of kids in front of the house, all smiling except one. A tall boy, thin, his face blurred like someone had run a finger across the photo. The caption read, "Sergey, 1952. My heart skipped a beat. I went to the village archive. Turns out, a family really did live in the house in the mid-20th century. They had a son, Sergey. One day, he disappeared. The body was never found, but there were whispers that he never left. And local children called the house cursed. Ever since I found the photograph, it was like Anya could sense I knew. She started avoiding me, wouldn't look me in the eyes, spoke in whispers. Her drawings grew darker. At first, just Uncle Seryoja standing beside her, then looming over her, then standing over me as I slept. I tried to talk to her seriously. "Anya, who is this friend of yours?" She looked away, stayed silent for a long time. "He was here before us," she whispered. "He said you're in his way." "In the way of what?" "Taking me." That night, I woke up from an awful chill. It felt like someone had left a door open, but the house was locked up tight. Then I heard a rustle. First in the hallway, then on the stairs. I got up and stepped out of my room. Anya stood on the staircase, her face deathly pale, eyes wide open. She stared at me from below. "He said you're no longer the master of this house." "Anya, did you have a nightmare?" "He said you wouldn't believe anyway." She turned and walked downstairs, as if sleepwalking. But her steps were strange, slow, even, like she was copying someone else's movements. I ran after her, but she wasn't in the kitchen. I found her 10 minutes later, sitting in the pantry, quietly singing an old song, a very old one, the one my grandmother used to hum when I was a child. After that night, the real breakdowns began. The baby monitor cameras glitched, my emails started sending messages I hadn't written, but from my own address. One of them was sent to me. "You can't keep her. She's already with him." I tried to fight the fear, told myself maybe I was losing my mind. Stress, exhaustion, responsibility. But then I heard two voices in Anya's room. One was hers, the other, male, deep, dry, like it came from underground. But when I burst into the room, no one was there. Just one more drawing on the floor. It showed me lying on the ground. Above me, a shadow. And at the bottom, written in a child's hand, "Soon." That was it. I decided we're leaving. But that night, something else happened. I was awoken by a deafening noise. The house was shaking. Light bulbs flickered like in a horror movie. I ran into the hallway and saw Anya's door slowly closing. No hands, no wind. I rushed over. It was locked from the inside. "Anya, open up!" I shouted, pounding on the door. "It's me! It's your uncle!" Silence. Then a whisper. Through the door. "She can't come out." I broke down the door. The room was empty. Panicked, I rushed to my laptop, checked the camera feed, and what I saw chilled me to my core. Anya was lying in bed. Someone was sitting beside her. A shadow, faceless, just a silhouette. He was stroking her hair, then turned toward the camera. And at that moment, the camera shut off. When it came back on, the bed was empty. I called out. I ran through the entire house. I searched the basement, the attic, the yard. Nothing. I called the police. They searched. Dogs, drones, equipment. She had vanished.
just like Sergei in 1952. 3 months have passed. I've been examined by psychiatrists. The case was closed. The girl could have run away on her own. I stayed in the house, alone, hoping she'd come back, or at least he would show himself to me. A week ago, I woke up to a familiar sound, a child's laughter. There was a new drawing on the floor. It showed Anya. She was holding someone's hand, and it wasn't a silhouette anymore. It was my face.